Ah, man, B Marsh Boxing back at it, man. B Marsh Boxing back at it, man. Hey, man, niggas don't want to be great no more, man. Fellas don't want to be great, and I'm back at it, man. B Marsh Boxing, man. I got my Timberland boot, better yet, man. I got my Air Nikes, or I got my motherfucking Jordans. Whichever Jordans you want, man. I got my motherfucking Jordans, my Night Airs, my Barclays, whatever, my Penny Hardaways. I got it right on this kid Gervonta Davis' neck, man. I got it on his throat. And I've been had it on since the night he was a world champion because I seen how these protectors out here, these you know, fellas living in a false sense of security. Y'all passed that same plague to this guy Gervonta Davis, you know what I mean? Now this nigga don't want to be great no more. Just like y'all fellas don't want the man to be great or any boxer. You just comfortable with them beating and fighting any and everybody who don't got a pulse, you know what I'm saying? Now the reason I'm going in on the kid Gervonta Davis, man. Big ups to Wood, Baltimore Beat TV, son. I just subscribed to you yesterday. I was there thinking about it like yesterday, like dogs. I haven't heard a Wood Baltimore TV video in a little bit, especially after all this shenanigans I seen on the weekend from AB Tank Davis. I seen the man Tank Davis damn near wanted to kiss Errol Spence. What part of the game is that? You know what I mean? But I was thinking about would be more TV. I went in my subscriptions. I ain't even see him in that joint or something. Then I look on YouTube. He got a new channel, and sure enough, Wood was there talking about AB and this guy are the new Three Stooges, Gervonta Davis. You know what I mean? And Wood is from Baltimore, so you know them fellas is keeping it a buck, man, keeping it tall with y'all. But at the end of the day, man, Gervonta Davis, when the fuck is this guy gonna fight anybody with a pulse, man? Shit, man. Y'all fellas need to stop calling these guys beasts. I went in on them last week, and I wasn't even going to do that this week. But this kid, Gervonta Davis, he forced my hand. Straight up and down, he forced my hand. You know what I mean? Again, I'm watching videos, probably Ellie Setback, somebody, I don't know, numerous videos I seen from fellas at the Barclays Center over there for that fight we seen on the weekend with Porter and you know what I'm saying? Porter and Danny Garcia, you know? But the guy Tank Davis is there talking about he'll fight anybody from 126 pounds, that's featherweight, all the way up to lightweight to 135. You know, like I said in my previous video, you know what I mean? I wasn't with them fellas that night, but word on the street is that these fellas were bent, you know what I mean? You know, you know what I mean? Maybe fellas was bent. I don't know. You check it, but stream. You know what I'm saying? But you know, these guys were acting up. They were having fun though, you know what I mean? Nothing wrong with what they was what they had going on for themselves, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, this kid, Gervonta Davis, is there talking about he'll beat anybody from 126 to 135. Now let's look at the guys he's fought ever since he became a world champion. And mind you, as of right now, Gervonta Davis is not no motherfucking two-time world champion. He's not even a current champion right now. That's what we're not gonna do on B Marsh Boxing Channel. You know what I mean? We're not just gonna say fellas is champion for the sake of it when he ain't even beat nobody for the belt. You know what I mean? His last fight he fought Jesus Cuela. Okay, Jesus Cuela. That fight was in April of 2018. Jesus Cuela hadn't fought since September of 2016. Or was it nah, I take that back. I think Jesus Cuela probably fought he fought in the end of 2016 because he fought Abner Maris, right? Okay, and that was in December of 2016, you know what I mean? So the man was definitely out a year, over a year, you know what I'm saying? The guy was campaigning. I've known this guy to be campaigning all the way from 122, the Jesus Cuela. And that's who Tank Davis fought. He moved up to 130. Tank Davis broke him up in like 3 rounds, vicious body shots. You know what I'm saying? The guy was basically a punching bag in there. Who the fuck is this guy that y'all giving Tank Davis props for? You guys are giving Tank Davis props for beating up a bantamweight. What's good, boxing fan? He's in the chat. He says, "What up, B Marsh?" Boxing fan says, you talking about drunk Davis? Yeah, that's word on the street. Son was bent, you know what I mean? He was drunk. I wasn't with him, you know what I mean? But hey, if he's talking about beating anybody from 126 to 135, and then when he said 135, and he said Lomachenko too, and then he ran away. That was the last thing he said. Then he turned his back on the camera and he was cheesing. You could tell he wasn't even serious about saying that. Why the fuck are you saying that you'll beat anybody from 126 to 135 when the man Vasil Lomachenko was a champion at 130 and you ain't want no parts of him? You know what I'm saying? You ain't want no parts of him. Now he's 135. You're saying that you'll beat anybody from 126. This is the same fuckery that the kid Jamel Charlo's talking. You know what I mean? Talking about he'll beat anybody from 147 to 160. Stop. There are guys in your division who you don't even want to fight, and you talking about you'll beat guys who are bigger than you. Boxing fan said he be lying. Davis is a cherry picker. I'll have to agree 100%, boxing fan. He's cherry picking. Look at the guy he fought before Jesus Cuellar, Francisco Fonseca. All right. Okay. A guy from where? Costa Rica. The guy was undefeated coming into that fight. You know what I'm saying? I got no problem with that fight. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, the man Tank Davis struggled in that fight, and he arguably could have been disqualified because of hitting after the bell. You know what I mean? You check it, and Tank Davis looked like ass in that fight. He looked terrible, you know what I mean? Mr. Doc, what's good, Mr. Doc? He says, that then why is he fighting Mares? Yes, why is he fighting Mares? A guy who just lost at featherweight, you know what I'm saying? To Leo Santa Cruz. He lost clearly, decisively, clear cut, you know what I mean? What part of the game is this, man? Why is he fighting Mares? Great question, B. Marsh. I said B. Marsh, Mr. Doc. McGregor Boxing stars in the chat. He says, what's good, B. Marsh? What's happening, McGregor Boxing? How you feeling, man? Just got to air out some of these fellas out here who, they getting a lot of, look, to be honest, people have been shitting on Tevin Farmer. You know what I mean? They've been shitting on Tevin Farmer. Tevin Farmer really and truly is more of a champion than Tank Davis. He is. He's actually a real world champion right now. The man, Tevin Farmer went over there. He went to Australia to fight Billy Dibb, you know what I'm saying, for that world title, you know what I mean? He's actually doing more in boxing than the kid Gervonta Tank Davis, you know what I mean? But that's how the world is fucked up, man. The world's fucked up, you know. Fellas more get praised for doing bad than fellas who are actually doing good and doing positive stuff, you know what I mean? Tank Davis is doing bad. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. You know what I'm saying? He's talking stupid shit, talking about he'll fight anybody from 126 to 135 when he ain't even want to fight Lomachenko. The man Tevin Farmer stepped up to him this at Brooklyn, man. He stepped up to him. He said, "Man, I'm strapped up. I got a strap. What's up, man? I'll fight you, man. I'll drop my fight on October 20th. I'll cancel that to get a fight with you next." The man Gervonta Davis don't even want to look the man in the eye, man. And I don't gotta make up nothing against nobody, dogs. I don't got no hate for nobody. I'm just telling you the body language from these fellas. The man walked away. Errol Spence got in between Tevin Farmer and Gervonta Davis, and he pulled him away from that smoke. You know what I mean? That the man Tevin Farmer was bringing, the heat he was bringing to him. You know what I mean? Look, Gervonta Tank Davis. Scrap that nut ass fight you talking about with Abner Mares, a guy who got sparked out by Johnny Gonzalez. And if you know Johnny Gonzalez was a guy who started campaigning from 118. The guy Johnny Gonzalez beat my guy Mark Too Sharp Johnson years ago, a younger Johnny Gonzalez. Johnny Gonzalez sparked out Abner Mares in one round, dropped him twice. The ref had to stop the fight because this guy was on Queer Street. You know what I mean? The man Abner Mares is not that good, dogs. The guy Abner Mares used to campaign at bantamweight. You know what I'm saying? So why is Tank Davis even trying to fight this guy? That's what you know what I'm saying? Look, Tank Davis ain't even a champion. A fight between him and Tevin Farmer is not a unification, dogs. Tevin Farmer is the real champ. He's a one-time champion in his history of his career, just like Gervonta Davis. If Gervonta Davis want to let his nutsack grow a pair of nuts, go get back that belt that you lost on the scales when you fought that Francisco Fonseca guy. I mean, it's simple, man. It's simple. Tevin Farmer, look, people are saying Tevin Farmer this, man, it's a fight, man, that we've been wanting to see. You know what I mean? That's why these fights got to get made. If Tank Davis gonna bruck him up and beat him up, punch him up, so be it. Let these guys fight. You know what I mean? Um, McGregor boxing star says, "Speak that truth, B Marsh. No question, man. I don't know nothing else." Boxing fan says, "But B Marsh, Tevin needs to fight some more competitive fights. Billy Dib is overrated." No, 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 boxing fan. That's what we're not gonna do. Nope. Nope. Competitive fights. So what? He needs tune-up fights. The guy wants tune-up fights when before he was a champion, he was calling out Tank Davis when Tank was a champion. No, man. Tevin Farmer. Go ask Tevin Farmer if he needs more competitive fights before he wants a Tank Davis fight. He'll tell you, fuck no, man. I want Tank Davis right now. You know what I'm saying? The guy feels he can beat him. He wants that fight right now. He don't need no competitive fights. He Billy Dib is not overrated. Billy Dib is not rated. Period. You know what I'm saying? You know, that was a victory that Tevin Farmer was is. You know, it was guaranteed he was going to get that W because he got robbed in his previous fight versus a Japanese who was on steroids. You know what I mean? McGregor boxing star says we all want to see Farmer Davis. Yeah, not the Davis fans, not the Davis. They'll say no. Tevin Farmer's some garbage. He don't need that fight. I don't get it. I don't. McGregor boxing says great fight for both. No question. It's a great fight for both. Mr. Doc says, yeah, how is Morris a better opponent than Farmer? Exactly. That's why I had to be tuning out a lot of fellas when they'd be talking that nut ass shit, man. Mares is only in position to get this fight because he's a Al Heyman guy. I've said it on previous videos. The guy is a guy who Al Heyman keeps close, you know what I mean? He's a Hispanic fighter, Mexican American or Mexican who left Golden Boy and came to fuck with Al Heyman. Him and Leo Santa Cruz. These guys have showed loyalty to Al Heyman. Al Heyman shows loyalty to Abner Mares and Leo Santa Cruz. You know what I'm saying? Abner Mares sometimes does commentary on some PBC fights. You know what I mean? Any of these guys from Robert Guerrero to even a guy like Antonio Tarver. These guys are a good Al Heyman has looked out for him, you know what I'm saying? Because look at how many opportunities the Ghost Guerrero got for world title opportunities when, it was sometimes he didn't even deserve them, you know what I mean? So yeah, man. So Abner Maris coming off a loss versus Santa Cruz can easily get that Tank Davis fight, you know what I mean? But he does not deserve it one bit, no. Del Boy Boxing, what's happening, big man? Mr. Doc says, I'm sorry. Del Boy Boxing says, it's worrying to see him so inactive. He needs to be fighting. It was also concerning to see him in that type of shape. He's not making 130 for much longer, no question about it, man. The man was looking a little chubby out there in Brooklyn this last weekend, you know what I mean? So that's a point I agree with Del Boy, you know what I mean? He's been struggling to make 130 pounds. You know what the man Tank Davis need to do? You want to be a real champion? You want to be a real WBA champion? Go fight Albert Machado. Go unify those stupid ass belts, that stupid ass belt that you got that they demoted Albert Machado. Albert Machado is more of a real champion than Tank Davis is at right about now. He beat Jesper Corrales by knockout. Nothing controversial. Straight up and down, knocked his ass out. You know what I mean? Ain't heard of Jesper Corrales since. Jesper Corrales was the number one man in the division. He had beat Takashi Ushiyama. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we're not gonna do, man. Tank Davis, you're not gonna be called a world champion for fighting Jesus Cuellar, who was a 126 WBA regular champion. He comes up to 130 after a year and a couple months out the ring. You break him up in 3 rounds and then they give you that WBA belt. Nope, nope, nope. That's what we're not doing on B Marsh Boxing Channel. Is that the case? I'll say when Triple G and Danny Jacobs fought, Danny Jacobs was the real champ, not Triple G. I could do that. I could say that right now. Ryoto Murata, the guy from Japan, got a 160-pound regular title. He's the real champion, not Triple G. I could do the same for the motherfucking heavyweight division. Manuel Charles, the real WBA champ, and it's not Anthony Joshua. Is that what the kind of games we're gonna play right now by saying Tank Davis is a champ? Come on, man. Come on, man. You fellas need to stop that shit and no, don't call this man no two-time world champion. That's blasphemous. You know what I mean? That's egregious and asinine. You check it. That's what we're not gonna do. You know what I mean? What's another example, man? There's somebody else out there who's a fake ass WBA champ. There's the motherfucking, uh, yeah, man. I'm trying to think who, man, but it's not even coming to my mind right now. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, man, fellas need to stop calling Tank Davis a two-time world champion. He ain't no two-time world champion. He's a one-time champ, just like the man Tevin Farmer. And actually, Tevin Farmer is a current world champion. Well, Tank Davis is just he's just a little paper champ. You know what I mean? And fellas might come on this video might think I'm hating. I'm hating on y'all fellas who be gassing these fellas who ain't doing shit in boxing, doing too much but not enough. You know what I'm saying? McGregor Boxing says, "What up to Del Boy? Big ups to Del Boy and McGregor Boxing." McGregor Boxing says, "Unrelated, but B Marsh, what was your first fight?" My first fight I've ever seen in my life. First fight I ever seen in my life was Tommy Hearns versus Marvin Hagler. You know what I'm saying? The war, 1985. You know what I mean? I was a little kid, man. I was probably like 3 years old. I was going for the tall dude with the yellow shorts. I hated the guy with the bald head. He beat the shit out of my guy with the Jerry curl and the yellow trunks. And that's my introduction to boxing. You know what I mean? And my pops had the fights. What's his name? Ray Leonard versus Duran. He had both of them on VHS tape. I used to watch them fights religiously. You know what I mean? I still got them fights on a VHS tape, and them fights is that VHS tape is over 30 years old. You know what I mean? Still got it. You check it. That's my introduction to my first fight. You know what I mean? That's even before I even knew fellas like Mike Tyson. I knew Hector Camacho before Mike Tyson and Cesar Chavez. You know what I mean? I knew these guys in boxing. John Mugabe. My pops, I remember my pops, had a friend from Uganda, and he used to always talk about John Mugabe, and I remember seeing that fight with Mugabe and Marvin Hagler. You know what I mean? So I was a little kid, you know. I didn't know nothing about weight classes. I didn't know nothing about I was a little kid. I didn't know which guys fought in which divisions. I just knew names. Ray Leonard. You know what I'm saying? That was my introduction to boxing. You know what I mean? Um, Mr. Doc says, yeah, the WBA did Machado dirty. How you lose a title without being given a chance to defend it? Exactly, Mr. Doc. That's fucked up, man. For some popularity thing. But the WBA, look, like the other example I was given. If that's the case, then Alexander Usyk is not the real WBA champion. The real WBA champion is Bebot Shumenov and Dennis Lebedev. You know what I'm saying? That's if that's the games we gonna play, saying Tank Davis is the WBA super featherweight champ, then that's what we're not doing on my channel. You could do that on other fellas' channel who be gassing these fellas up who ain't doing shit in boxing. Mike 104 says, my first fight was an Oscar fight. I don't know shit. I didn't know shit. I remember my dad renting a pay-per-view cable box. Times have changed. Mike 104, which fight was it with Oscar De La Hoya? I remember watching De La Hoya from the Olympics, you know what I mean? I've seen basically his whole career. Him and Floyd Mayweather, I seen them from the Olympics. I seen Floyd's whole career from top to bottom. Because his first fight I remember was on ESPN. You know what I'm saying? So, um, yeah, man. So that's just what I got for the man Tank Davis. You know what I mean? Shut that stupid shit up about fighting anybody from 126 to 135 because you're not going down to 126. You're gonna try to bring guys up from 126. You know what I mean? Um, a fight that's been in the rumorville for 2018 ever since my man Gary Russell, and I like Gary Russell more than Tank Davis. Sorry, I like him more. You know what I mean? My guy Gary Russell moving up to 130 and fighting Tank Davis. I personally would like to see that fight because um, my guy Gary Russell has had problems trying to get fights at 126, unifying with these guys like Leo Santa Cruz. Although I do think that's possible for 2019, you know what I mean? Mike 104 says, top it off. It was my mom who was the real Oscar fan. My dad liked Chavez. I feel you, man. McGregor Boxing Star says, mine was Tyson Lewis, first time ever. Being let's stay up till 5 a.m. True indeed. I remember that fight vividly, man. Fight was in Memphis because Mike Tyson couldn't have no license to fight in Las Vegas because of what he did to fellas like Holyfield. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. My first Tyson fight I can recall was I could probably say versus Trevor Burbick. I'll never forget that. Those are the first fights I remember watching of Tyson. You know what I mean? The Trevor Burbick fight. Yes, indeed. But yeah, man, B Marsh Boxing, man, just had to let it be known. Um, Tank Davis, look, man, I got nothing against the kid, but when you talking this nut ass, bam ass shit, Mo, man, gonna fry you up, man. I'm gonna frame broil your ass. I'm gonna put you on the hibachi, and I'm gonna let your ass burn. You know what I mean? I just got to. Mike 104 says Oscar versus Mosley. I was 6. Oscar versus Mosley. Great fight, man. Great Southern California fight. Two Southern California legends, you know what I mean? Close fights, you know. Both of them close fights, you know what I mean? Some people even actually thought De La Hoya won the second fight, you know. But yeah, man, that's a long time ago now, you know what I mean? So you've been up on boxing since back when, so that's a good look, you know. But yeah, man, B Marsh Boxing about to seal the deal on this live stream. Big ups to everybody who came through. My man Mike 104, McGregor Boxing, Mr. Doc, big ups to Del Boy, you know what I mean? Boxing fan, big ups to everybody in this piece, you know what I mean? Just had to let it be known, man. I ain't taking no shorts on my channel, you know what I mean? Fellas doing some stupid shit, I'm gonna put them on the hibachi. B Marsh Boxing, I'm out of here. One.